Hey guys, this is Killian, and today we're going to be talking about the Vape God himself, Jonathan Ballard. Okay, so this story starts off in 7th grade, which was last year, and it involves my friend John and a few other people that I used to vape with, and I'm not proud of that at all. So anyway, every day after lunch, me and John would go into the bathroom, and me and him would both take our jewels out and start hitting it. But one time, we went in there, and there were a whole bunch of kids in there, and the stalls were full. So me and John just take it out right then and there, and we just start hitting it. And this kid that was right in front of us, let's just call him Retard, he decides it's a great idea to go out of the bathroom and tell a whole bunch of people that we were doing this. So what I heard from everybody was that Retard went around and told a whole bunch of girls that were in the school about all this, and they went and told the assistant principal about it. And right before 7th block, which is our lunch period, ended, John got called down to the assistant principal's office. Alright, so I see John walk in front of my door and down the direction of the assistant principal's office. And then my friend, who we're going to call Simon, tells me that apparently John had been snitched on by the kid who we called a retard. So anyway, I asked my teacher to go to the bathroom, and I walk towards the bathroom and I look in the assistant principal's office, and there's little Jonathan sitting right there getting confronted by the assistant principal. So anyway, 7th block ends, and John and my friend Corbin come up to me, and they both explained to me that John took all the blame for the jewel so that we wouldn't get in trouble, and that was pretty much all that happened that day. So the next day rolls around, and I get to school, and I was scared shitless because I thought I was gonna get caught. But everything was going well until my 3rd block rolls around, and that's when everything really started to fall apart. So 3rd block was my lunch block, and we all lined up to go to lunch, and I'm talking to Retard, and he said he heard a rumor that I was gonna beat him up. And I tell him that I'm not, and he goes, okay. So we get to lunch, and I get my food and everything, and I sit down, I'm talking to my friends, and I look over, and I see Retard get up and start talking to one of the administrators, and then they walk out of the cafeteria. So I wait for lunch to end, and I get back to the class, and the teacher gets a phone call. So I just remember that before the phone call, this kid who we're going to call Marcus got called in, and apparently he snitched on himself and got himself suspended because the assistant principal used a trick by saying, "We know that you hit it." So anyway, my teacher picks up the phone, and she's talking, and then she looks at me, and she hangs up the phone, and she goes, "So Killian, what the assistant principal just told me is that Retard is too afraid to come back into the room because he's scared that you're gonna beat him up." So I knew that was bullshit because I told the kid that I wasn't gonna beat him up. So he eventually comes back into the room, and then 3rd block ends. So I make my way down to 4th block, which I had banned, and I sat right next to the phone. So every time the phone rang, I was just scared as shit. So then the phone finally rings, and my band teacher looks up and goes, "Hey Killian, the assistant principal needs you." So I get up, and I know what's about to happen. So I walk out of the room with my pass, and I didn't realize that the assistant principal was upstairs. So I go to the downstairs part because our school has 2 levels that are pretty much the same. So I go to the downstairs part, and I thought that was the assistant principal. I knock on the door, and I look in there, and then the lights are all off. So I go, "Oh shit, better go upstairs." So I go upstairs, and I see the assistant principal's office, and the lights are on, and fucking Corbin is in there. So I slowly walk over there, and I knock on the door, and the assistant principal looks up and comes over and opens the door and goes, "Have a seat." So I sit down, and I look on the desk, and there's Jonathan Ballard's jewel just chilling right there. So the assistant principal starts asking us questions, and then she says, "We know," or fuck. Then she says, "I know that you guys were doing this in the bathroom. Tell me that you did it now, and there won't be any problems." So Corbin says, "Neither of us did it. It's just that if people were asking us about it, then they'd definitely make fun of us if we said we didn't do it." So anyway, she picks up the jewel and points it at me and Corbin and says, "Alright then, if you have any confessions to make them before 3:15, which is the time we get dismissed." So me and Corbin get up and we walk out of there because we knew damn well we weren't making any confessions. So I'm talking to Corbin, and I go, "God damn, that was close." And he goes, "Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, get on House Party," which is this app that's basically a group FaceTime. So I get home and I hop on House Party, and it's me, Corbin, and a few other people, and we were just talking about the whole situation. So anyway, that was the story about little Jonathan Ballard, the Vape God. If you like the story, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.